Hi friends, good evening. Today is a Friday and we are going to discuss about the future trend insights. I must tell you that someone yesterday in our PMS webinar did ask me to cover what is an impact of crude oil price on the Indian equity market, and I'm happy to inform you that I've added that thing also in my today's presentation. My request is as follows. If you think you want to know one particular trend, please write to us or please tell us in this webinar, and we'll be more than happy to accommodate that request provided the data is available in the public domain. So we'll be more than happy to do that. So with this, before I start making my presentation, it's only a small disclaimer that this webinar is just to enhance your understanding about the market or the sector. There is no way we want to recommend any buy or sell. In case if you wish to buy or sell any company, please consult your financial advisor before doing that. Investment in securities are subject to market risk, and past performance is no indicator of a future returns. So with this, I'm going to discuss about five. The fifth one is a very common right now because the monsoon season is on, and IMD today said that northwest monsoon will start receding from 25th September, so which we are not far. So I think we are in a very last leg of southwest monsoon. Normally the season is 30th September or so, but we have seen in the last couple of times that monsoon do get extended move into the Feb also, so we need to wait and watch. And if it does happen, I don't know what would happen to the World Cup matches, which everyone is waiting very anxiously. So anyway, there's one question I keep getting from all of you is that what could be the impact of election? General election is there, am I right, in May? And how does the market behaves? Because election always brings in some amount of uncertainty. Which government will form, who will be the Prime Minister, what could be the policy action, and so on and so forth. So we can look at what happened to the market in the previous time and try to draw some conclusion based on that. That's one. Second thing I wanted to understand, is there an irrational exuberance in the market? Is there a bubble? Like today I was in a BT and the one question that was being asked to me is about the bubble. I don't think we are in a bubble zone or so, but how do I prove it with the data? So let me prove that. Is there an irrational exuberance in the market? There is another thing which I want to tell you is that at every point, 1,000 points, how the market behaved. 1,000 point, how much Sensex moved up, how much Nifty at 1,000 point. So the market, was visible screen? Yeah, okay, sorry. So Nifty Market Cap every 1,000 point rise. The reason I wanted to make you understand because we reached 20,000 milestone in the month of September. If that is so, how much rise in the market cap of Nifty 50 companies how much rise in the market cap will add additional 1,000 points to the Nifty? In other words, if it is to go from 20,000, 21,000, 22,000, 20, kitna additional market cap Nifty 50 has to add? As someone suggested yesterday, and I put it, I'm happy to put that correlation between there are a lot of spelling errors. I must apologize. That's all my mistake only. Correlation between the crude oil and the stock market. So how does the crude oil behaves vis-a-vis stock market? Does it impact? The general belief is that if the crude oil price goes up, it should impact the market sentiment and hence it should inversely correlate it. Is that the case? Let's see that. And of course, the rainfall deficit. We were at 9% last week, same time. Where do we stand today? So I'll also explain you that. So with this, let me start with my first election impact on the stock market. The historical trend does suggest that before election, market does not go down. So, for example, we are almost not 6 months, for more than 6 months away from the election. Am I right? So, if you look at the 6 months period and then the election, okay, if suppose today is a day and 6 months down the line, the election has to take place. How did the market behave in last 20 years? That is last 5 election. Market always gained. In 1999, it gained by 21%, 6 months period I'm talking about. So assume that today's election and 6 months down the line the election, and if you have to take a bet on what could happen to the 6 months time period, of course there will be some volatility in between. The market normally goes up. So if you have a fear that boss paisa nahi dalna hai because election aane wala hai, kuch bhi ho sakta hai, the data suggests that there is nothing to be feared. And this is despite the fact that out of 5 times, 3 times BJP formed the government and 2 times Congress formed the government. That is in 2004 election and 2009 election. But irrespective of the fact who formed the government or who was thinking this market moved up. When you come to 3 months to the election, prior to the election, and if you invest 3 months before the election and wait till the election day, out of 5 times, 4 times the market is gained. So, if you are expecting that market to correct before election, the historical trend does not say so. In other words, don't be on the sideline. अरे election आने वाला है, पैसा बनेगा नहीं बनेगा, don't do that. Now let's go to the right hand side of this table. And what happens to the market after election? Does the market crash? So in 3 months time, the market has gone up. Only 2 times market went down. And of course 2004 when there was a lower circuit because of the NDA coming back and India signing campaign completely flopped for Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. What happens to the 6 months down the line? Again, if you look at that, market is almost at the same level in 2 times when market did not move up. But 3 times it moved in double digit. In 1999 up by 19%, 2009 43%, and 2014 15%. While in 2004 and 2019 it was marginally dipped. So what does it indicate? Risk reward ratio. Risk reward ratio says market normally goes up before election, market normally goes up after election. In other words, is there a reason for you to be worried about because of election? The answer is no. There is another interesting data. So, we can make an attempt to time the market and so on and so forth. But another interesting data, if you look at it, market normally doubles from one election to another next election. In other words, if you are investing in the market for 3 to 5 years, probability is very, very high that you will make money. And let's look at the data. In 2004, the Nifty was at 1,800. In 2009, during election time, it almost doubled to 3,500 level. अगर आपको दिख रहा है तो, am I right? मैं लिख लेता हूँ. 3,500 2009, it almost become a 7,000 in 2014. तो double हो गया almost. And 2014 to 2019, that is again in 5 years, it's again double. Not exactly double, but very closer to double. And when the election is around the corner in the next 6 to 7 months, we have already crossed 20,000. That means normally from one election to next election, market normally doubles irrespective of fact who forms the government. So if this data convinces you, then please remove your fear in the mind that market गिरने वाला है, ऊपर चलने वाला है, क्या होने वाला है. Don't take that. Because of election, you should never dare to take call on the market, because market is agnostic to who forms the government. Okay? And market over a period of 5 years, that's the election to next election, has shown upward and almost 100% gain. No banks will give you that kind of returns. Bank FD, I mean to say. No other assets class can give you this kind of returns. So how that makes it clear. This point I wanted to have because some of you people are a little worried about the election related this one. So this data will prove you that your fear is unfounded. Now let's look at the irrational exuberance. You know what I did actually? I looked at the cash volume versus the market cap. Now why I did that? I just wanted to understand. Can we take the slide detail on the right hand side? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So normally when there is an irrational exuberance, what happens? The market, the retail participant increases. The cash volume increases as percentage of market cap. And that gives an idea about that market is little frothy at that level. In October 2022, we were at 3%. So that was a very good time. You know, that gives an indication that market, I think, seems to be too much pessimistic. Something similar we saw in April 2023. Again, market was too much pessimistic. And then we saw smart rally in the market. Today, that is August 2020, I don't have a data for because September is still not closed, so I don't put it. We are only at 5%. Cash volume to the market cap. Historically, if you look at it, Feb 2021, we were at 8%, and in June 2020, we were at 10%. So are we in an irrational exuberance? Is there a bubble that we are talking about in the market? The answer is no. The answer is no. And in other words, there is no bubble that can burst. So if some experts creating fear in your mind, please don't get carried away. I have shown in my presentation in the previous trend analysis how small and market cap as a percent of total market cap, what percentage they are forming. I have shown you the valuations of mid and small cap versus historical trend, which clearly suggests that we are not. And this another data point which gives the idea, the moment it goes above 10%, I must tell you, give you that also indication, one should be little watchful at that point of time. We are nowhere close to that level. This is monthly average daily turnover divided by the market cap. That's the thing what we have done it. So we are no longer in a bubble zone. So there is no irrational exuberance that's there that you should be little worried about it. Yes, we do believe that September, as we predicted on 1st September itself, that market can see some correction. Normally September is not a good month for the market. And this is what has exactly happened. But normally October to Feb, market does extremely well. So this is data. Now comes the Nifty Market Cap at the every milestone. So what we looked at last time, if you remember, we did showcase to how many days it took for Nifty to cross 1,000. And someone suggested, can you not give the market cap of Nifty at the various milestone? And that's what I exactly did, from 10,000 to 20,000. Now, you know, the trend suggests that Nifty market cap has to go by 5 to 7%, Nifty 50, for 1,000 point hike in the Nifty level. So from 20,000 to 21,000, we would need near about 5 to 7% increase in the Nifty 50 market cap. Now, why it is very critical to know that? If only few companies are going up, then overall Nifty 50 market cap will not go up. That will not take indices to the higher level. So what we need is a broader participation from the Nifty 50 companies so that the overall market cap of Nifty 50 goes up, which can help Nifty 50 to go to the 21,000 level, 22,000, so on and so forth. So normal, the last four, or if you look at most of the time, it's always been a single digit, unless we were in this region where it took double digit, like 13%, 10%, 20% kind of this one. But out of journey from 13 to 20,000, most of the time, it took anywhere between 5 to 7%. So this is another trend that I wanted to showcase in front of you. Now comes the question. If you know, ONGC chairman made a statement that crude can go above $100 per barrel. We are anyway at 95, 96. So we are not very far from that psychological level of $1,000 per barrel. So what's the correlation? क्या होता है? Does the market goes down when the crude goes up or not? I thought let me give you the data. So if you look at this is I've taken data from 2003, and again I'm going to zoom in to specific period. But let me just give you the broader picture. 20 saal, am I right? 20 years is too long a period, isn't it? It's not a small period. So what I'm going to do here is this very simple. I made 100 as a base for crude and for the Nifty 50. In last 20 years, the crude moved to 339. But Nifty 50 100 has become 1549. Now that gives an idea how much. So it's 3x versus 15x. There are many periods where, like especially if you look at this period, the crude remained in a very narrow range, but market moved up. And there was a period when the crude moved up and the Nifty moved up. So there is no negative correlation that you can see in this graph. So if you are making an assumption that because if crude is going up market, so yes, it can go down on a short run. I'm talking about the long-term impact doesn't look like. So that's why let me zoom out and zoom into some two period. This is 2003 to 2007. Well, crude moved up, but so is the case with Nifty 50. Crude moved up in that period by 3.5x. But Nifty also moved up by 4.7x, and the rise in the crude oil has been very, very sharp. That was the first time in the history that crude moved $100 per barrel. In fact, we touched $150 per barrel also. But did the market correct? The answer was no. That golden period, which 2003 to 2007. Let's look at the post-COVID. If you all know that, crude went down substantially, but look at from that level. Crude moved up. It got up from 179 from that period, while the Nifty moved up at 203. So did the market, while the crude moved up, did market move down? The answer is no. So for some reason, if you are getting a little fearful because of market going down, my request to all of you, don't be fearful. There are many other factors that decides the market sentiment, okay? And crude is one of the factor, but not the only factor that's going to decide whether market moves up or move down. And hence, if you are going to use only one matrix to decide, I'm afraid you will be wrong. You would prove wrong, and then you'll repeat, why did I take the decision? And I'll be more than happy to take up all your questions in any of this trend that you're talking about. Let's look at the check on what's happening on the rainfall. The happy news is that, if you remember when I was in front of you last week, deficit was minus 9%. That is 9%. When I was using word deficit, I should not be using minus. So it's a deficit of 9%, which now is only 6%. So in other words, the gap has been narrowed. Most probably, we would see a normal rainfall. Most probably. we're in the last few days, few weeks of the season coming to an end. And I think some portion of that. So some region which is a cause of concern is the red that you see here, or the yellow that you see is a cause of concern, which was the case last week also, and this region, especially this region, which is a key cause of concern. But otherwise, it's a lot of grain that is normal, a lot of excess that you can see, and a lot of large excess. Large excess are very far and few, but there is excess that's there actually. But that's what has happened in the. So overall, doesn't look like a worry as we speak. In fact, I was reading one article. Since I am from Bombay, the lake that supply water to the Bombay, have enough sufficient water that can last for 1 year. So I don't think there should be any water cut, at least for the Mumbaiites this time. What is the positive trend? And the one positive trend which is emerging, see, if you rewind back, every bank across the world has been was suggesting rate hike. And some of the big banks across the world have started now taking a decision not to hike rate of interest, whether it was Bank of England, whether it's an FOMC, that is United States, Bank of Japan did that today, Bank of Canada did that, and RBI did that. So I think it's a very, very good. Of course, having said that, yes, some are expecting one more rate hike, like that's been the case with US. Maybe Bank of England may also do that, and Bank of Japan may also do that. We don't know, but this is what basically happened. So that's a very positive trend. I think central banks are not going more hawkish now. They basically want to be more data dependent. Let's look at the data, and based on the data, they do understand there is a lag effect that comes into of a rate hike, and they want to wait and watch. So that's a one basic positive trend. The negative trend is that FIs are net sellers in the market for the month of September. We did predict in the first week of September that FI would be most probably net seller in September 2020. That's what has happened. This is the first time in this financial year FIs have turned net sellers. First time. Otherwise, in April they were positive, May they were positive, June they were positive, July they were positive, August they were positive, but in September they have turned negative. Very soon we can again see them positive, but overall doesn't look like that. In 2020 September month they will remain negative only. We don't expect them to turn positive, despite we still have 8 or 9 days more to come to an end of a month. But I believe they will remain negative. What are the major news? JP Morgan included government bond in the index. That's a very good sign. Bank of India and Fed kept the rate unchanged, and one more rate hike expected from the Fed. The tax collection has been robust. Oil price surge. Market, the FI sold almost 4,800 crore in this week. Both Sensex and Nifty declined by in excess of 2.5% this week. But mid and small cap outperformed the large cap. Yes, they've closed in the red, but they outperformed the Sensex and Nifty. And PSU sector is the only sector that reported smart again, despite the sentiments were down this week. So that's a PSU Bank since June 2023 have done extremely well. Till June 2020 they went nowhere, but somehow they have been catching up very smartly. Let's open the floor for question answer. Mr. Rao is asking, please give 52-week high and low of Mojo stocks in the Mojo stock list displayed on the web. Okay, we will speak to our product team, sir, Mr. Rao, sir, and they will look. See, now, Mr. Rao, I take care of investment side on the PMS side. What you are asking is a more of a display kind of a stuff. But I'll definitely ask my team to look into this. What is the 52-week high and low? That's a good suggestion nonetheless. Rao sir, just please take this, jot down and pass it on to Karan so that Karan can take a call on that. You have taken the note of it? Okay, take care. Sir, Sunil, Venugopalji, I don't know who told you that we are stopping the Mojo Professional Service soon. We are not. And we are relaunching Mojo Professional with another fees model. I don't know, sir, where you got this rumor. This is not true, sir. Let me tell you, this is not true. And hence, it's just a rumor. I don't know who told you. I'll be very, very keen to know who gave you this false information, because we must then speak to that person, telling him that why are you spreading this kind of a rumor unnecessarily. This is not true. Alkesh ji is saying, I wish to know that what will be the impact of climate change in India. As per my reading, it may lose few percentage of to 10% GDP annually. So what will be the impact on business and its share prices of major companies in time to come due to climate change? So I think it's a little harsh to say that the climate change will wipe out 10% of GDP annually. So yes, climate change is making an impact. It has a potential to damage the GDP growth, but I'm not very sure it could be so drastic. And I think Government of India is proactively looking at whether it's an electrical vehicle, whether it's a renewable energy, whether it's a ethanol blending, and so on and so forth. So I doubt that the way you are presenting the data point gives a very pessimistic scenario. I do not subscribe to that pessimistic. Yes, if you don't act, then what you are saying is right. Am I right? Because then once you reach a tipping point, and then it creates a lot of problem. I think Government of India is proactively looking into this. We are talking about hydrogen now as a fuel. So we are doing so many things. So I don't think, on the contrary, you should look at this way. Okay, because of the climatic, so let's convert crisis into opportunity. So look at this way. Because of the impact of climate change, which are the companies that will benefit? So in fact, the question you should be asking me is, instead of putting it negatively, you should say which are the companies that should do. And I think some of the companies, those who are going to do extremely well, are the people, those who are busy embracing EV technology, electrical vehicle, electronics vehicle. Someone who is basically participating in the ecosystem of the EV, they will get the benefit. Someone who are into products related to the solar, they are going to get benefit immensely. Why? Someone who was basically into ethanol blending, they are going to get benefit of that. So this is what, in fact, on the contrary, this climate change is opening up a lot of opportunities. See, if you look at last couple of years, sugar companies have done extremely well. And the reasons they extremely did because of the climate change, where Government of India announced the ethanol blending program, and that's really helping sugar companies do extremely well. So this is the way. So on the contrary, LKZ, it's giving us a good opportunity to get into the companies and the sectors that are going to make a lot of money because of the climate change. Badri Nayanji is asking if the stock is accurately valued with buy rating score. The system is showing value at risk as 55. Is it error by system? If not, what are the factors taken to calculate risk? Is this percentage beyond 2 down or circuit 20%? So value at risk at 55%, sir, my request would be that please write to us with the company name, Badri Nayanji, and we'll look into that whether it's an error or not. But value at risk at 55% also looks a little higher to me, to be very frank with you. Value at risk cannot be at such a high at 55%. If you can help me with the company that you are basically, that will be help me to do that. You can mention this company name, and I'll just see if I can basically look at that company and tell you whether it's a right or wrong. Yeah. As railway stocks forum tend to say, should we book profits? Mohit said, no. We do believe that railway stocks have a lot of potential to give capital appreciation, and hence don't be in a rush to get out of it. We do believe, so since you're asking me a question about the railway, let me also say for defense stocks also, we don't see a challenge there also. Yes, they have corrected. Well, that's very obvious because they have risen also very fast. So just a profit booking, nothing much to look into that. So they do offer a good opportunity in case if you have not bought them. So nothing to worry at all. Devasisji, I think it's a little too early to basically say what would be the impact of on the PSU sector or this one. Why PSU Bank? I think overall India's the lending cost or the borrowing cost will come down. India's rating can improve. India would be able to meet its deficit in a much better manner. So I think the impact is positive. But I must tell you also that this will come into effect from June 2024. That is almost post-election. It's not going to happen kick in today. And hence, if you're trying to budget so much today, my answer would be that don't do that. It will take, and it will happen in over a period of time. It's not going to happen that it's from one day it's going to come and come into picture. Canada Indian at all time, if the large Indian exit is there could be a huge impact. So Rupalji, what you are saying is a hypothetical question. Will they leave? Answer is no. And in fact, I was again asked this question again on my what we call BTTV, Business Today TV. I don't think this next Friday. I don't think we will be discussing about India-Canada relationship. It would be in the history books. I don't think people are going to talk about it. It's just that today we are talking about it. That's why it's a little fresh. Is it going to be game changing? Negative game changing? Answer is no. And the people, the investors who are invested in India, they will not leave country because of geopolitical relations. Why? Let's look at this way. Okay. India and China relationship are not very great. Did any Chinese company leave India? You continue to see Vivo selling the phones. So the Chinese company continue to sell the products. So don't mix up the business with the politics. I don't think that's going to happen. Yes, I can understand if more money may not come in. That's a different story. But are they going to exit from this? I doubt that's going to happen. Did we get that company which is at value at risk, which 45% someone suggesting? I just wanted to understand if that company we can look at. Is that given? Okay. Yeah, Rupal, I hope that answers your question. So Lataji is asking, what does it indicate and how do we use this data? Okay. So, see, normally when there is a euphoria in the market, the volume on the market goes up. Am I right? In the good market, we have a tendency to buy more. Am I right? If the market sentiments are down, what you do? You stay away. Sometimes आप महीने में ट्रेड भी नहीं करते हो, पर जब मार्केट अच्छा हो तो आप लोग ट्रेड करते हो. So when cash volume as a percentage of market cap keeps rising, that suggests that there is an irrational exuberance that's happening. People are basically doing more and more buying and selling, which may not be a good sign. So there is something called tipping point. Right now we are only at 5% of which has been historically that with the case actually. And then there is nothing to worry about it. So what I mean to, in a nutshell, what I wish to say is that if your cash volume to market cap goes beyond 10%, I think it's a reason to worry. If it goes below 3%, that means it goes below 4%, that means market is a very sweet spot. Probability of market going up from that level is very, very high. Probability, remember that, Lataji. This is a probability, not your shot. This is the way you should look the data. Usman ji is asking a very simple question. How can we take the benefit of stock of the month if we are following the portfolio approach? Very simple. Make stock of the month का भी एक portfolio बना दीजिए आप. And then keep 10 stocks in the portfolio. And that is the way you should play that. So yes, we are taking a portfolio. The only challenge that would be sometimes you may run into a risk of a high sector exposure. But otherwise, and the only other challenge that normally stock of the month, they don't come from the small cap. Why they don't come from the small cap? Because if you recommend small cap, on the next day the script can go up substantially, and then you may not be able to get the purchase price or buy at the price which we have recommended. So we try to, the team that basically now looks at stock of the month, they try to look at the company which are large cap and the mid cap. So that's a way. But of course, so it's more of a less risk, high return kind of a portfolio. Why? Because you are the stock of the month consists of large and mid cap only, and you can basically keep buying. Maybe so if you have to make 10 stocks portfolio, you invest 10% in one stock of the month. Next month another 10%. That way you create the portfolio, and you would have a 10 stocks portfolio as a part of the stock of the month. I must tell you, Usmanji, that many investors have created stock of portfolio from the stock of the month. Praful Gal, I'm a PMS client. I want to know what should be the strategy going forward for deploying additional funds. Should I follow CIP, SP or Add Lumpsup? Also, how do we take advantage of modern portfolio along with the PMS? My return in the modern portfolio is higher than the PMS, but your allocation is significantly higher. It is strategy. Thank you. So, Praful Galaji, I think first thing, whether it's a model portfolio or a PMS, SIP investment I would not recommend. I would say always lump sum. And lump sum also be a little significant amount. Why am I saying so? Because if you invest smaller amount, it does disturb the construct of the portfolio. See, SIP is good if you're investing in a mutual fund. Why? Because वहाँ पे portfolio set है. हमारे यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं होता है. So that will disturb the construct of the portfolio. So I would not recommend. So lump sum versus SIP, always lump sum. If your model portfolio is giving you money, please do that. See, remember, PMS has just started. So it's very unfair comparison between model portfolio and the PMS. Over a longer period of time, PMS should outperform significantly to the model portfolio. That's what our belief is. And hence, of course, you can take the advantage of model portfolio. I'm not saying no. But PMS, logically, over a period of 3 to 5 years, should outperform significantly to the model portfolio. That's what we believe. And hence, if your allocation to the PMS is higher, I think you'll anyway get the benefit of higher returns as compared to the model portfolio. Ankurji, what are my top picks from the PSU Bank space now? Sir, I am bound by now the SEBI guidelines. I cannot talk stock specific. And hence I will not be able to give any my suggestion on stock specific. Should I see score and make a call? Answer is yes, very obvious and very logical thing. Is it better to go for PSU Bank index as a whole since it's showing 13 years breakout? My sense is that PSU Bank may not give you that kind of returns, my personal opinion. Risk reward is definitely not in the favor of reward. That's what my PSU Bank as an index. Why am I saying so? Because NPA level will start rising. CASA will come at the cost. That could impact your NIM margins also. So my sense is that yes, you can take a stock specific approach in PSU where you look at ROA, look at price to book value and so on and so forth and take a call. But PSU Bank index I wouldn't recommend. So my equity is asking a question. Can you analyze crude versus USD ratio, please? We can do that. Okay, but what is the point you wish to? You want to say that will it impact the rupee? That's what your question is. Maybe we can do that. So I'll try to see if I can do next week the crude versus USD. Definitely we'll do that. See, if you look at the crude impact on the overall economy over the years, it has been declining. Because Indian economy grew very smartly. I'm not saying crude has not. See, if you look at this, the simple mathematical equation, The crude moved up by 3x in last 20 years, but the market moved up by 15x. Why the market moved up? Because the GDP growth moved smartly. Now, India's import bill as a percent of GDP is on a constant decline, crude bill. And second thing, Government of India has now started doing blending program and so on and so forth. That's further reducing demand for the crude. But anyway, for your benefit, I'll definitely put that data so that you can get an idea. So I'll put it. Just remind me, Amir, that I need to put this data. Yeah. Oh, you have asked this question many times and not been, so my apology. Hope this time today. What are some overvalued, undervalued pockets as per your analysis? Is it good time to book profits for some of these sectors and invest others? Agrochemical looks one such sector to me. So, okay, let me first, what are the overvalued? I think PSU Bank looks a little overvalued at this point of time. Why? Because they've run up very fast, and I don't think some of the banks don't merit that kind of a valuation that they've been commanding. So that's my undervalued. Looks like metal, chemicals. IT looks undervalued. Pharma looks undervalued as we speak. Railway and defense will continue to do upward move journey, so they looks good. Where should we book profit? Very obviously, some of the PSU banks where it has run up too fast, ahead of the fundamentals. And agrochemical, I don't know your question. Agriculture, you want to move out or you want to reinvest? Agrochemical, I think, don't be so go overboard. Be company specific, and then invest, because our sense is that it may underperform overall. So don't be in a rush to invest in agrochemical. I hope that answers all your. And sorry we could not pick up your question earlier, purely because of the number of questions that keeps coming in. Pooja ji is asking, can we get a screener on strong sell to sell rating on daily basis? I don't think we have that screener right now. I know you people want this. There is also a possibility of getting misused by some of the customers. So that's the reason we will think about it. But that point taken, I'll again discuss with the team and we'll come back to you on this. Just jot down this request, Amrit, so that we can put it to the concerned team. Halsa Singh is, hello Sunil, getting to hear your authentic views. What would be a person do in a transit time from infinite to PMS? Should sell entire portfolio more infinite, wait till the PMS setup is fully present? No, sir. You should not do that. As you know that those who have expressed the desire to be part of the PMS and those who paperwork is on, we have continued to supply them, service them on the infinity. So don't do that. Secondly, how will the returns calculate? Start of the PMS date or start of the infinite investment date? Definitely start of the PMS date, sir, for the PMS. Whether you have a significant return or not, it will always be. There are many customers who are up by 40%, but we are not taking that into consideration. The day you transfer the money or the shares, that becomes a starting value for the PMS. That's what the SEBI guideline says. So we'll follow the same guidelines. I hope I've answered all the questions. Gangi Reddy is asking what Mojo Score we have to sell the stock to book profit. Do we need to sell the stock when it's Mojo Score less than 60? So I've given a very simple formula there. If the score is 60 and above, don't get out. If the score is 60 or below and the script share price is falling, please move out. That's the best way you can exit from that stock. And this is a thumb rule. There is no scientific science behind this. So it's just more of a thumb rule that you can apply to take a call. But of course, sometimes it could vary also on a case-to-case basis. Aftab is asking, is it fair to consider stock price CAGR over the 1, 3, 5 years as one of the factors to pick in? No, sir, I wouldn't recommend that. Because when you look at the historical return of 1, 3, 5 years, you are looking into the rear view mirror. You can't drive your vehicle with the rear view mirror. You need to see your windshield and do that. If you look at 1, 3, 5 years, we would not have recommended ITC as a stock of the month or ITC as a Mojo stock. And we have seen many times, like classical example has been the HDFC Bank, which has been the star performer for the market for many, many years in a row. And now bank is struggling to outperform. So I don't think you should do that, because then you run a risk of getting into the company at the wrong time. That means the higher price, and then you don't see a return coming in for many, many years to come. So I wouldn't recommend that. What you should consider, the growth prospects of that company going forward. And if that looks good, please go ahead and invest. That's the strategy that you should be following it. Venkateswara Rao says, good evening. Can you please notify us when there will be huge downside in the market? Sir, I wish I knew. मैं short sell करके करोड़ों रुपया बना लेता. Am I right? Is it very difficult to estimate all the times? Yes, it is very, very difficult. But it would be very helpful in few which can we estimate 1 or 2 years, days or week before. Sir, it's very, very difficult to say when the market. See, I must tell you, I don't expect any huge downside to the market. I don't see that happening even next 3 to 5 years. Why am I saying so? Because I do believe that Indian economy will do extremely well, at least for next 3 to 5 years. And if that is so, if you are waiting for the market to correct, you will keep waiting, and you will miss out on one of the big rally that is in the offing. So in the near future, I don't see any big drawdown in the market. And if I knew for sure, I could go short in the market and make a lot of money. I wish I had that kind of a जादू की चाबी, जो ताले की चाबी जो मेरे पास मुझे बता दे कि ये मार्केट अभी गिरने वाला है. ऐसा कुछ है नहीं मेरे पास. But anyway, I don't expect market to fall down. Chandrakanta is asking, there are several quarters where Nifty had negative correlation with fuel price. In the latest graph year 2000 shown by you, hence it is quite possible that the higher crude oil may impact one or two. Please see, Chandrakanta ji, see, sometimes there could be a short-term relationship between the crude and the Nifty, but to say that the Nifty went down purely because of crude oil is not right. There are many other factors also at the play at the same time, which could also result into a negative correlation for a short period of time between crude and the Nifty. And hence I've shown you two time period, 2003 to 2007 and 2020 to 2023, and one period I've shown for 20 years, and which clearly says. And see, my question or my worry is that why do we need to be so pessimistic or so myopic in our investment horizon? Why do we need to be so look at very short period of time to say ये होने वाला है कि नहीं होने वाला है? See, if you really wish to make money in the equity market, if you really wish to make really good money in the equity market, start looking at the long-term trend. And if you do that, it increases your probability of making good money from the market. In fact, someone sent me a very interesting tweet today. Not tweet, the WhatsApp. If I can find that, if I just see if I can send it, I can find it for myself. 1 second. Okay, I can see. And he says, nice, very nice sentence. You never lose when the market panics. You never lose when the market panics. You only lose when you panic. Am I right? And this crude oil price going up and this and that is all the sign of a fear that is basically this one. Over a longer period of time, as you can see, it did not matter at all for the market. So when I invest in the market, I don't look at what will happen to the market 1 month, 3 months, 5 months. I look at whether Indian equity market can give me good returns over a period of 3 to 5 years or not. And if the answer is yes, it doesn't bother me what will happen in next 1 month, 12 months. 2022 turned out to be one of the disastrous years for the equity investors. But daily I came in front of you, almost daily, and I did mention that don't worry, India's growth story remains. And today, no one asked me that question, panic wala sawal. So look at the long run, and then I think it's a 1 or 2 cut doesn't matter in your long-term journey. There will be many periods where market may have gone down despite crude would have gone down. Am I right? There will be some other reasons why that must have happened. But should that bother you? Answer is no. Remain calm and composed. Paisa banega aapka. See, if you ask me very frankly, making money in the stock market is very simple, but not easy. Or it is easy, but not simple. क्यों तकलीफ क्या है मालूम है? We want to complicate the things much in our mind. At any point of time, we are more pessimistic than what we should be. अगर आप किसी रिटेल इन्वेस्टर से बात कर लोगे ना, and that's what I've always observed, instead of he telling me 10 good things about the Indian equity market, he will give me 5 negative things about the Indian market. He will have a solid reasons to tell me why Indian market will go down from this level. And we need to remove that negativity from our mind. Look at Indian market on a block of 3 to 5 years. If you remember, I did make a presentation 30 equal to 5. The kind of money that the Indian market has made in last 30 years will make in next 5 years. If that is so, why do we want to bother about kya hoga 1 quarter mein, 2 quarter mein? Have a big picture, big vision. Dhirubhai Ambani could create an empire of Reliance Industries because of his big vision. And that's what I want you to be. Create a big vision for your portfolio, for your wealth. And once you do that, I think a lot of things will fall in place. हमारा प्रॉब्लम क्या है? हमारी सोच ही इतनी हम लोग कम रखी है कि हम चाहते थोड़ा खुशी आ जाता, हम लोग घबरा जाते हैं. We all become then, treasury king. हमारे से खुशी बर्दाश्त नहीं होती है. कभी कोई कंपनी का पोर्टफोलियो में स्क्रिप्ट 50% ऊपर चले गया ना, we start getting fearful. ये कंपनी नीचे तो नहीं चली जाएगी. Why can't we think, अरे ये कंपनी 50% ऊपर गई और 50% ऊपर जा सकती है ना? But we don't want to. Our fear cycle is so strong. And I don't blame. I think a lot of things also to blame with what has been said in media, what has been said in TV channels, our past experience, which has not been so great. And then we are all victims of that. And that really basically bothers us so much. The moment you cut the noise, you remove the noise, the life becomes really easy. And then making money is not a tough thing. It's absolutely not a tough thing. Mahesh ji is asking, what are the prospects of US market in next few months? I believe that they will have a time correction or a price correction. So from this level, risk reward doesn't look very favorable for the US market. Pankaj is asking, is it big player in the market is rebalancing their portfolio? I don't have any idea, sir. I'm not private with any of their personal portfolio, whether they're doing rebalancing or not. And see, I don't give too much importance also. because ultimately what we need to do is that everyone has a different strategy in the life. Everyone has a different risk appetite. And we should always see what we are good at, and then you play to your strength. So we don't look at what others are doing, what are they rebalancing. Many times we have observed that we are a little contra to the market, and yet we have been able to create that kind of a wealth for the investors. So we don't do that. So I'm not privy to that, and neither I have a bandwidth or inclination to look at what they are doing in terms of the rebalancing. With this, thanks a lot everyone taking time out. I know you may have more questions, but it's almost 1 hour that we are into this webinar. I wouldn't want to hold you back. Please enjoy your weekend with your family. On Monday, my colleague Karan would be in front of you with the Mojo stock presentation. And again on Tuesday, I'll be in front of you with question answer with Sunil Damania. On Wednesday, I'll be in front of you with our PMS customer. The reason I'm doing this time on Wednesday, because Thursday being a Ganpati Visarjan day. So a lot of you people will be busy with that immersion process and so on and so forth. I don't want to force you to come on a day which you do not wish to. And some of our Muslim friends have suggested they want to celebrate Eid. So can we not do that also on Wednesday? I accepted their request also. And again on Friday, I'll be in front of you with the future trend. With this, thanks a lot once again. Have a great weekend. Good night.